All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Sport webinar. Today's date is Tuesday, September 5th, 2017. And this is a Tuesday evening webinar. And the title of tonight's webinar is Drawing Those Lines for Trade Entries. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar, other webinars we have, our live trading room or anything else with Viper Trading Systems should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? If not, we're going to go ahead and get started. By the way, there are some people here on trial this week, so I want to make sure and get you aware of the fact that if you go to vipertradingsystems.com, just to our home page, which is vipertradingsystems.com, and then simply go to the webinar link, we've got some nice webinars for you to watch. Okay, they're not like our members have, but this is actually as late as, well, let's see, here was 8:31. I think we've got, yeah, basically the only one that's not up there so far is the one from Saturday, and I'll try to get that up there for you too. Okay, but you've got about 12 webinars to watch, maybe 13. Okay, so let's go ahead without further ado and get started with this webinar. And real quick, a show of hands, how many of you draw on your charts? Do you just rely on indicators, or do you draw on your charts where you know where those trades are going to set up? Good, good. I do now. Okay, yeah, me. Lots of yeses. Okay. So basically, if you are drawing on your charts, I can tell you this, that you'll more than likely make money trading because it brings your eye right to where those trades are. Okay, it brings it right to where they're at. Anybody want to kind of prove that little fact right there? Anybody got an idea where the next trade is on this chart? What do y'all think? By drawing on your chart, you can pretty much see you had a thrust up, okay, a double top. So you have a thrust up, like basically here's your top, your ABC, right? So isn't your, right here is pretty much where I would be drawing this, that I would think this would bounce, wouldn't you? I mean, we draw these all the time in the room, so, you know, I'm not dead sure it's going to bounce there, but I can tell you this, if I was to take this trade, I would just simply put my stop right under this swing. And that makes it real easy to keep up with. Now, one thing for anybody that's kind of new to what we're doing here, we've got a lot of nice indicators on our charts too. You know, rather than just having, let me just bring up a chart with just strictly oil on it with no indicators. Bear with me a second. Yeah, none. And I'll show you what a chart will normally look like without any of our indicators on it or anything like that. Bear with me a second. Now this is a chart on a 4 range. Now this particular chart opened our eyes years ago to really seeing trades, and then we developed everything around the way the charts actually do. I mean, put this thing like on a, you know, a 3 to 4 minute chart and tell me you'll see the same things, because you really won't. Let's just put it on like a 5 minute chart, because a lot of people do that. You know, does that look the same? You know, it doesn't to me. And that would be a lot harder to trade because, for instance, right here, to give an example, would I have gotten in when this bar totally closed? Would I have gotten in when this bar was finally breached? Uh-oh, wait a minute, it went way up. You see what I'm getting at? Bear with me a second. It didn't show. I think I hit the wrong button. Bear with me a second. This is a 5 minute chart right here. Just letting you see a 5 minute chart. But you'll notice that it has the same thrusting, you know, retrace action. Obviously, any chart's going to. But where does this tell me to actually get in this trade right here? You know, say at like even 5 o'clock in the morning, to give an example, right? Where does it tell me to get in there? Well, with our indicators and everything, I think you'll pretty much see. Let's just go back to it and let's see if we can find some of those. As a matter of fact, we're at 640. Yeah, right here. This is, see, for instance, if you were on a 3-minute chart, would you already be in this trade? You know, it did do like a little doji, and, you know, your candle's kind of going up. Would you jump in this trade right now? Because if you did, you'd have to put your stop under here at least, right? So what we do is we try to give you indicators, like for instance, this predictor right here. This is pretty much telling us that we're looking for here. We're looking for here, which is on top of this swing. And we're even looking at mid-band, but according to this particular chart, not lower, because you have a high, you have a low, you have a much higher high over here. So this is an established swing. So if they're going to continue heading up, they will not take that swing out. Everybody see that? Anytime you start getting these actions of thrust, retrace, you'll notice that each one of these swings holds. When they decide to quit holding, like micro swing right through here is coming down, they'll check these medium swings. They will not take out your secondary swing like this unless they're planning on consolidating or even going down. So for instance, if I was to get in this trade anywhere in this area here, which is where I think it'll go, or even between this line, I'll draw kind of a box. Basically, that's my sweet spot on that particular trade. Okay, and my stop's going to be right here. So it makes it real easy to trade it, doesn't it? So drawing on your charts can be a very, very good thing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put Object Trader on here. We play in replay so you can see this. And by the way, when we get to 7:55, I'm going to show you a trade that we actually called out live in the room. And based on this same deal here, just exactly the way we teach it. Okay? Pretty good way to trade, actually. So let's just see if we can get this. By the way, notice that I have a power meter that's red. So that's telling me if I use power meter and go for a long, this has to turn green, right? So you want to see if we can get a little trade? We'll just see. If it doesn't go green, then we won't get it because it won't turn my power meter green. It'll stay red. So let's see if we can get something. We'll just see. I've drawn my lines on my chart. I know right where the trade should be. Okay. Now you can go with your fibs and things like that, but obviously, you know, price action is where the trade actually is to begin with, right? So that's what we want, is we want that price action. Let's see if we can get something. See if any questions are coming in too. Okay, I don't see any, except chart was not showing. Sorry about that. Notice how we've got these tools that'll actually fire this trade. Notice this hasn't turned green yet because it's not through retracing just yet, is it? Well, we don't know if it is yet, but if it turns green, I'll fire a trade and I'll have to put my stop. Now, keep in mind, if I actually turn green, like up in here, I'd have to put my stop here. Okay, see how that's coming right down to my line? We kind of expect this to bounce, don't we? Now, I would probably, if this was, you know, do something like this, I'd at least try one. I'd put my stop just under the swing. See where that swing is? Because we know by the identified swing that it cannot take this one out if we're going to head up. So I'm really risking like 60 bucks, or well, actually 120 bucks on an oil trade. If this was NQ, it'd be 60 bucks. All right, let's go ahead and add some more if we get a power meter to the upside. Okay, notice I'm up 5 ticks. No big deal. Nothing to write home about just yet. Will this retrace a little bit? We'll find out. Usually they do. See, you know, when this is trying to retrace, notice how you get a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low. Until they take this out, they're not really heading up just yet. Okay. Now, if they start stair-stepping back up, this is a low, this is a high, and we get a higher low, then this'll change. But if we keep going down, it won't change. Let's see if we get a higher low. See how it hit my line exactly? Draw on your charts. Okay, I'm going to only add, we'll add 2. Okay, Your safest bet is when it goes all the way down to mid-band, okay, or lower on a long and vice versa on a short. But these predictors are really, really good at predicting where this action will stop. Okay, and the action has stopped so far. Now let's see if we can get a power meter green, and we'll see if we can head up again. Now, does anybody, okay, there we go. We just got another trade. All right, so we're up like 140 bucks. Let's go ahead and get our targets out of the way. We'll at least try to get some profit right in here at this predictor. Okay, now does anybody see the next trade on this chart already? Draw your lines on your charts, because I'm here to tell you it'll make a world of difference in your trading. See your low, your high, your higher low, higher high. Have they checked this swing yet? They haven't, have they? So could we actually stay in this trade until power meter turns red? Okay, because we know we're going to retrace down to here at some time. That's just the way things go. They break, they come back and kiss. Okay, so I'm going to wait and see if we get a little bit higher. And if not, I'm going to go ahead and turn on PM and take this off the table if this turns red. That's a tight stop, by the way, because see, you've got a high, you've got a low, you've got a little lower high so far. If this closes below this swing, it'll get us out of the trade, right? With PM meter, but we're not out yet. We'll see if it takes us out. Now, keep in mind, you could keep this trade longer than this. I'm talking about a good tight stop. There you go. You just got taken out of your trade. You're flat. But see how quick that was, like a $400 bill? Now, where's this trade going to hit its head? Anybody? Right there? Maybe? What do you think? Anybody? We drew on our chart. We said this is where it should go. Let's go ahead and turn on power meter and get two more. Power meter will get us into two more only if we have a low, a high, and a higher low, which we do have so far. Now it's right at it. One tick above it, though, see? You're one tick above, I think. Yep, one tick above. Let's see if this is a low, a high, and a higher low. And if it is, power meter will turn green as soon as it takes out the swing, and we'll add two more. Everybody see how that works? It's just an absolutely wonderful way to trade. Okay, now we have another trade that we like that comes out about 7:55, I think it is, 7:59, pardon me. Predictor is green too, absolutely. You want to go long with those green predictors like that. Now, we called this particular trade in the room this morning. Does anybody remember why we called it? Not this one, but I've got another one setting up right as we speak. Anybody see it? Draw your lines on your chart. Where did this break out? Anybody? See your little low, your little high, your higher low? Let's put our line right there. Did it kiss it? Exactly. It did, didn't it? So let's just pretend we're not even in a trade yet, okay? What if you saw this happening as you were getting ready to trade? This is what we call a kiss trade. All right, if I were to take this trade, I don't want them to come all the way down to here. So I would just simply jump in a couple, okay? I'd put my stop just under the swing. I'd use exit on close. And we called this particular trade in the room. Matter of fact, I got filled on this particular trade, and I even showed it at 48.07. Okay, now notice we got in a little bit earlier here, 48.02, because of this little swing. But we also wait for what we consider a box break, and watch what draws. I think I've got it set to draw. Let me make sure. Time regions, maybe not. No, I don't. That's all right. At 7:59, you'd have a little box, and we actually drew this box, and I think it was right across here, and we called this trade. And by the way, if you decided to take this trade, you were almost late if you waited for it to break the top of that box, because it literally went like that. See that? See that? A beautiful, beautiful trade is what it turned out to be. Okay, and we had some people still in this. Now, we got taken out of all of our targets just then, but by the same analogy that I just gave, where would be your next trade on this chart? Well, they haven't checked here. They haven't checked here, looking to the left to trade the right, and you've got a predictor right here, okay? So these are the little areas that you should bounce on this trade. Notice that we have stealth right here, okay? Notice our power meter is what color? Red. Turn it on and take a trade. Absolutely. Doesn't drawing on your charts make sense? Drawing your lines on your chart? It absolutely makes the most sense, doesn't it? Because if you know where they're going to go, you can count on the fact that if you draw on your charts and watch those lines, let's say, for instance, that I draw this line right here, and I draw this line here, and I draw this line here. Well, if this was to come down deeper, but then not take out the swing and then take it back up above this line, I'd simply fire some contracts. Okay? Notice that it's actually bouncing off our predictor. See there? It's bouncing off my predictor. And that's also stealth, which, see that green stealth line right there? A lot of times they'll do just that also. Okay? And notice how drawing on my chart simply worked out again. It's absolutely an amazing way to trade, actually. It works. Drawing on your charts. Okay? Now notice we're only at like 8:06 in the morning. We actually called this trade physically in the room this morning. And I showed it, 48.07 is where I got my fill. And this particular trade went up 80 ticks by drawing on your charts. See where my predictor says to take some coin. We'll go ahead and do that. Could you review the price action on RTY today from the open and discuss the big drop in that and YM? Sure. Matter of fact, how about NQ? Because I called those. Okay. NQ, we actually had on, matter of fact, NQ and RTY. So I could try to show both of those, yes. YM had a really good drop too. Charles called that one, remember? That was at the mid band. But I'll show you that price action. Now, let me ask a question. What if you missed this particular trade, okay, and you want to get in at a later time? Well, you can obviously, for instance, if let's say that I'm only in 3 and I wanted to go more, well, I could actually turn on like bar close to give an example. You know, see how it's trying to take out that little swing right across there? If I do, I've got to put my stop underneath here. You want to try it? Well, to be fair, though, we know it went up, so we won't do that. But if you ever get to where you've missed out on a good trade and you've drawn on your chart and you got chicken and you didn't go ahead and take it, you know, could you do this same thing right here by going to region, set up a nice region, something like so, something like so, something like that, and then actually take the trade and add a couple? Sure, you could. But you got to be careful because you do have to put your stop underneath the actual identified swing. And remember, identified swings is the answer to trading. Because you don't know this is a swing yet right here. This one is. See how you got a high, low, and a much higher high? This one's not a swing yet, but it's getting ready to be. Because of being identified. High, low, higher high if it closes, and then that swing's identified. That means we can pretty much safely assume that if we're going to continue up, that swing will hold. So could I actually do this? Sure. As soon as that bar closes, that is. Until then, I'd be down a little bit further, not all the way down to here, though, because we just got in here, remember? Okay. Yeah, we'll go over absolutely the NQ that was called this morning. You find that one a little bit too crazy? I can get the RTY instead. You want to do that? That won't be a problem at all. I can absolutely get that one up instead. Just a minute. We'll let this trade go ahead and work its way out. Bear with me a second, I'll get an RTY chart up. We'll go ahead and put it to the side a little bit. Oh, and I've got it on 1 minute because we were looking at 5-minute charts. So let me get it changed to range bar so that we can tell what it's doing, right, everyone? You got to be able to tell what it's doing. And those swings are easy to see if you train your eye to see them. Okay, so let's look at it and see what we've got here. RTY, 7:48 in the morning. By the way, our little box drew. You were long out of the box, right? That's the way we teach it. That's a good little long trade right out of the box. Is that not a good one? Absolutely, it's a good one. And that particular trade, by the way, we teach because at the open of the market, that can be a really, really good type of a trade. That's that 8 o'clock box. Okay? But let's watch and see if we can get a trade on RTY also. Now RTY, let's diagnose the chart first. What's the overall trend right now? You've got a high, you've got a low, you've got a lower high, you've got a lower low. So what do you think? Trend up or down? Anybody? What says the team? Is the trend up or is the trend down? Well, the trend's up on what we call the shorter term, right? And we could definitely trade this. So let's go ahead and just see if we can get a little trade. Just the beginning, right? Let's go ahead and get a little trade. Replay. Let's see. Now we're above our box, so we got to get a little pullback, unfortunately, into the box. So I'm going to wait just a minute. Where do you think it's going to pull back to? Anyone? Draw your lines. What do you think about right there? Think it'll pull back to there? Well, if it does, I'm going to take it. Would that be a pretty good spot to look for? Now, keep in mind that the overall trend is still down somewhat, but we're getting ready for the open of the market. We are getting a series of low, high, higher low, which is tending to be a little bit of a trend change. See that right there? I like that. So I'll go ahead and do it. Is it going to work? We don't know. Do we really care if it's going to work actually? No, because we're going to keep a stop on it like we always do. Let's just see if it works. Anytime you get in a trade, obviously the trade could go against you. But if you get in the habit of drawing on your charts and you know where support and resistance is, and with 4-range charts, you can definitely tell that, right? We also do what we call boxing in. Let's just pretend we're not even in this trade with 4. Let's just box it in instead. Let's do a region. Could we do a region somewhat like this? So you have a low, a high, a higher low. Your power meter 2 is green, so we're going to look for a long. Rather than rollover, Lee, on your question, because of that series of higher lows and higher highs. Now, could it roll over? Yes, it could. But does this look like, see if you draw your lightning on the chart. Let's just draw lightning 2. See, lightning 2 is pretty much, whoops, sorry about that. Lightning 2 is pretty much saying low, high, higher low, higher low, higher high. So this is actually your low right here, right? Now I would box it like this instead, and I think I just moved it, but that's okay. We'll see if we can get it. And where do you think this trade is going to? Anybody? How about right up there looking to the left to trade the right? See, that turned out to be a beautiful, beautiful trade. Always look to the left to trade the right. Now, keep in mind that this is right at the open of the market, right here. I think we're at like 8:31, so this is right at the open of the market. So in those first few minutes, you got to be a little bit careful. This may even change it to a green midband. We'll see. And we'll go ahead and bring our stop obviously up under the swing. Green midband, right? So what do you think? What's our next trade on this chart? Anybody? Let's go ahead and take this off and let's see if we can guess again, because we just showed it just a second ago. I think right there, see that predictor? Let's go ahead and try. And we'll go ahead and put a nice tight stop on it. And just see if we can get another little trade here. 10-10, and we'll go ahead and try to go, we'll try to get up here to this little swing again, just see if we can get there. And if not, we'll get stopped out at this line. And if it does, it does, right? Because this is at the open. You're going to have that happen occasionally, okay? Now notice what's happening. What do you think? Right at the open, we do what we call boxing in. This breaks this little swing right across here. We'll actually short it. See it right across here? That's the swing. There you go. You just got you a short. Now that's an aggressive trade, but let me show you a less aggressive trade if you want to see what we did in the room this morning also. Let's just kill this trade. Let's slow this down just a little bit. Where would I draw my line on my charts? Anyone? Let's go ahead and just let me know where you draw your line on your chart. Because if you can start seeing where the next trade is, it will make a huge difference in your trading. Isn't that it right there? There's also a swing right here. Look to the left to trade the right. There is a little swing right here, but it's already taken this out, which means that they actually had a high, and I'll get rid of that. They had a high, a low, a lower high, and even took that out. So that swing, they've got this one to the left and this one to the left. So what do you think? Anybody? Where do you think this will more than likely hit its head? Just right around midband, right? That's what we teach in our room all the time. Now notice that we could have stayed in this trade that I just called just a second ago, but I'm going to show you how to make a little safer trade because we also called this one. Where do you think it'll go? Anybody? I would draw this little area right here as a sweet spot. I would draw this area right here as a little more iffy that'll get that high. Okay? Now, how many of you chase them here? You want to see what happens if you chase them here? Let's say that you're a chaser and you just go, you know what? I'm just going to sell it right here. Doggone it, that's just going down so good, I've just got to sell it. Don't do that. Okay? You just sold literally within 4 ticks or so of the bottom. Would you really do that with your real money? The answer is no. All right? I just did that just to show you something. Okay? Don't chase it. I mean, if this thing is going to head down with 4-range charts, you're going to get some kind of retracement into midband or into stealth at least. Do you take 1 or 2 off after the first bounce? It really depends. At the open, and like with oil today, we let it ride, you know, for quite a long time, which is the way to do it. Definitely the way to do it. Okay, see it right here is at support, isn't it? Let's see if it goes down any further or if it comes back, kisses, and we get another trade. You want to see? Always be willing to check things out and see if that's exactly what they'll do. We'll find out. Okay? We're taking out the bottom a little bit. Let's see here. We've got, you had a breakdown. Let's just see if it'll come back and kiss something at least. Maybe, maybe not. But how many of you chase trades and then end up saying, why in the heck did I just chase that trade? Do some of y'all do that? Let's see. No, it defies the laws of thrust retrace. Absolutely it does, doesn't it? Okay, we're at what, 14.11? We've got to come back to at least, let's see if we can get some kind of a retracement on this. Y'all want to? See if we can get some kind of retracement on this. Yeah, if you chase it now, you want to just chase it for the fun of it and see how badly you can get hurt. Okay, you say, you know what, this thing's just dropping. I got to get it. I just got to. What's that more than likely turn red? See it? It's turning red. So you're thinking, wow, let's go ahead and just hold on to it and give it a full stop out. And the answer to that is no, isn't it? The answer to that is no, absolutely no. Okay? Wait for the retracement. See, otherwise you give up some good coin. What if you had 6 contracts in there? You just gave up $200. What if you had 8? You probably gave up closer to 3, right? So always wait for the retracement. Now we have a red background. We have a mid-band that's red. So we're looking for short. We are at the open, so we trade both ways. Okay, whatever this gives us here in just a few minutes is what we're going to take. Joseph says, sometimes I find myself boxing trades toward the end of a thrust thinking it will continue. And that's the thing, you got to be really careful with that. Because to give an example, if this takes that power meter out, I might even try a quick 7 ticks with 4 contracts, because it took out the support, but will it go all the way back up to here, or will it just go to mid-band? We don't know yet. Okay, we don't know yet. But see, the power meter did turn green. Now, is that a risky trade? That's a little riskier trade. Okay, and I would probably put a stop fairly tight on it. You know, I'm only going to risk 10. And that would still be, what, 20 times 10, $200. Okay, so I'll probably go a little higher than that. But let me show you the trade rather than a counter trend trade, because the trade is setting up right before us, okay? Now, will it work out? We don't know, but I do see a resistance area. All right, and let's just sell it and see if we can get a quick 7 ticks. We'll find out. It's resistance. We'll try it. See if mid-band holds here. Now, like I said, this is actually a little bit riskier trade because it's not a good retracement as of yet. Okay. Now, when we're trading like this, we're always looking to see where the next trade is live on our charts. Okay. I'm going to dump my lines and we're going to draw them again. Okay. Let's see if we can. First off, we got to see if we can get this trade working out, and I'm going to put a tight stop on it. Just like that. See if we can get that trade. See, you can scalp your way to paradise if you want to. See there? Just got it. Anybody see what can possibly happen with, well, if this goes ahead and takes out the lows, then more than likely we should have kept at least a runner on, right? But we didn't keep a runner on. Now, I like to look at both sides of the chart. So, for instance, this is coming down to support. I draw my line. All right. It's coming exactly down to support, as a matter of fact. Now, there's a lot of times that I will probably take that particular trade, but I'm not going to teach that tonight because, to be truthful, you'd already be in it, okay, because I drew the line a little late, but you already got 6 or 7 ticks on the trade. Does anybody see another trade very possibly set up? Maybe something like that. And we're looking for it to come back and kiss on top of that. Okay. Now, we don't know if it's going to do that yet, right? 14, 13, 90 again. Matter of fact, you can draw your lines on your chart. For some reason, my lightning keeps drawing. Let's see what happens. We already got our short trade, so now we're trying to see what this is going to do. You're getting a higher low. By the way, in the room live, we talked about this morning. Watch for those higher lows, because even though they take it right down at the open, Then they do a little thrust retrace. They hold support. Could this actually be going for a deeper retracement? It could be. If you draw on your charts, you'll know. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a short trade only if it takes out this line. We'll go ahead and turn on short on sniper. All right, and I'm not going to take a long at all just yet. Let me get this one out of the way too. All right, so we're looking for a short there, or we're going to look for a long if it pops up and pulls back into support. We teach this trade all the time. Wait for a thrust, box it in. You could box it in too, right? You know, I wouldn't go just nuts. See, that's boxing it in right there. It's trying to take out the swing. Okay. And boxing it in the way we teach in the webinars is pretty much right here. See this little box setting up right here? You can draw it just like this. But if I was going to short this, I don't think I'd personally want to short it until it takes out lightning, which is right across here. Okay, so we got us a decent little trade so far. We'll see if it works out. Got to trust the retrace of the thrust. Absolutely. If you don't wait for the retrace, now keep in mind that there are times when these things run like crazy, but they will retrace enough to at least go into stealth and give you a chance to get in again. You can draw trend lines underneath them and things like that. There are times you can chase a trade. You've just got to be ultra careful doing it. Okay. Now let's say that you weren't even in this trade at all just yet. Let's draw a trend line. I can see a trend line. Is our little trade working out yet? Not yet, but that's okay. It just hit our trend line. Let's see if it goes up. How many of you from this day forward are going to draw on your charts? Because it will make a world of difference if you do. And if you use lightning, get in on these retraces. You know, they don't have to be real deep retraces. They just have to retrace some. You know, we draw trend lines. We draw these boxes and things like that. See how that's taking that out a little bit? Could we go ahead and do a couple more? Maybe. I'll put my stop just under that wick, though. Let's look to the left to trade the right. Let's look to the left to trade the right. I'm going to draw some lines of resistance. Let's see right here. Like so. Okay, so you had a thrust, retrace, thrust. So I've got a line drawn at 1450.50, and I've got a line drawn at 1414.70. We forgot to change our targets, so unfortunately we've only got one set of targets. Let's see if we can get the rest of this. Let's see, I do draw, but my problem sometimes is fear of getting in too soon and often missing good trade entry. Well, the one thing about that I would highly recommend would be to watch for the zigzag motion of the chart, at least to make sure you're getting what would be considered a decent trade. Let me just show this chart that I show all the time. You know, make sure, for instance, let's say that you waited on this retracement right here. Everybody see my cursor? Okay, you have a double top up here, right? So you broke the swing. You had a lower high, but only when it took out this swing, right? So when did this start stair-stepping back up? Anybody? Didn't it start right there when it took out that swing? Lightning would change to green right there on top of that swing right there. That's a good spot to wait for. Absolutely. Put your lightning 1 and 2 on your 4 range charts. Absolutely. Because keep in mind that, let's see if I can draw on this. I don't know if I can or not. Yeah, we can draw on it. The size of it's like that. So let's just get a yellow one. See right across there where that broke that swing right there? That's a big line, but anyway, it broke it. And could you be long on that? Absolutely. If you were trading this chart over here instead, where could you be long? You had a nice retrace. It didn't take out the low. So where could you get in this trade even? Well, you could get in right across here, or you could get in right across here, right? What if you missed these? Well, there's a low, there's a high. Wouldn't that be another entry right there? Wouldn't this be another entry? You got a low, takes out the high. Wouldn't that be an entry? That's what we're gonna devise very, very soon, is going to be real-time lightning. Because real-time lightning, I think, will make a huge difference in everybody's bottom line. Okay, but see the different entries on here? Here, 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 here. Now, I didn't draw any more, so we don't know where another one is. What about over here? Well, here, right? This one took out that swing here. I'm not drawing real well, unfortunately. Cross here, cross here, cross here, cross here. Just like that. Now, keep in mind that lightning, once it turns green, it's not going to change. Because, see, this is stair-stepping up. But when we develop this new real-time lightning, it's going to know it's green down here, right? But it's also going to know it's green here, 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 and here, if you turn it on. So I could actually start with 1, add 1, add 2, add 3, add 4, add 5, add 6 if I wanted to. It'll be a button or something we'll put on it that'll let you choose how you want to trade that. Now, does every one of them do this perfectly? No. But they still do the same thing on every single chart that you trade. They thrust, they retrace. Look at that. Hit exactly where I drew my line. Now, how would we have known that if we didn't draw on our charts? Anybody? You wouldn't have, right? Okay. Now, let's see if anybody else, and I'm going to just let everybody tell me where the next trade is, because I do already see it. Anybody? I'll draw a line on the chart, and you tell me where the next trade is. I'm going to start raising it. 14. Oh, there's some people that have been paying attention to webinars. What do you think? There's another swing right there. Okay, let's just see. Matter of fact, let's just say you're one of those traders that's a little gutsy, and I'm just going to simply hit the button if it gets there. And let's just go for like even 10 ticks. You want to? Let's see. See if we're good enough to catch this. Now, notice lightning is still red on lightning 1. Why is it red? Because it took out this swing over here to the left. It looks at the left and the right. Okay, now real-time lightning is going to be looking at the right only with these little thrust retraces. And you'll be able to turn it on for the left also. I believe that's the way he's going to do it. What do you think? Anybody? What says the team? Now, this is kind of gutsy, but where did it shoot out from? It shot out from 1413.60, didn't it? Pew, like that. So that's my swing. If you draw it, you'll see it. You know, let's just draw it from down here. You'll see it. How about that? That's lightning. Now, I didn't just draw that manually. That's lightning too. And look where that lightning swing is right there. So is that looking for a decent trade? Now, I'm not going to go crazy because it's getting closer to 9 o'clock. So we're doing a little bit more scalpy. But let's just see if we can get it. I won't do 8 contracts. I don't want to teach anybody to. Let's just go for 4. Dum, 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 dum. You know how that mosquito used to do on those cartoons? Buzz, 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 buzz. I'm showing my age. That was a long time ago. Buzz, 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 buzz. Okay, went a little lower, just a little lower. I'm going to go ahead. Well, we already got it. See there? Put my stop just right under predictor for now. How about that? Think drawing on your charts won't make a difference? What if you did 4 contracts there and you only needed to have $200? Well, how much was that trade right there? We got it at, we got it a little bit late because we hit market and that's where it was. There we go. We just got it. What do you think? Does drawing on your charts help? That's a KISS trade, by the way. That is a KISS trade. Let's look at this real quick. We've got a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low. We're not taking out that high. For this to really go up, it needs to take out this swing right here. Let's see if it's going to. We're already out of the trade. Let's see if we can get another one. Looking to the left to trade the right, you just bounced off support. Here's another swing right across here. See it? Right there to the left. And this is the swing right up here that you'd want to take out. Now this looks like a lower high possibly to me, but we're not dead sure of it just yet. Okay. Let's do stealth. If this goes green, notice how stealth is gone. Let me get rid of the lightning too. Stealth is vacated right now, so if we get a green stealth, we'll go long. And if we get a red stealth, we'll go short. Also, RTY was holding up a divergence in YM in the first hour. So that's one thing that we don't really show. We do have an indicator that'll show that. If anybody wants to use it, it's Object Trader Manager. That'll show it. That'll show that divergence if you want to see it. You can even set your periods and all that on it. Okay, so we got stealth on. Now, we've already checked here, so if we go any lower, we're going to at least check here, right? Look to the left to trade the right. Let's see if we get anything at all. Now, I don't like to personally take a second bounce off of a support line like this unless I take it right at the support line, because that way I've got a nice tight stop on it. Because this looks to me like a high, a low, a lower high, and like it could even take out support. Let's see what we get. This was kind of a slow time of the morning. Notice how oil just kept heading up. Now watch how stealth will do. If we get a green stealth, we'll get a long trade. If we get a red stealth, we'll get a short trade. Stealth is green here, but it's vacated, so we're not with a stealth right now. There's your red stealth, just showed up. Okay, now let me ask you a question. Looking at this chart, where's the next trade on this chart? Anybody? Be romantic. It's a KISS trade. Anybody see it? You just broke down from here, right? Now you expect a thrust. We'll see if we get one. We got in on our stealth. We're not going to go long on stealth, by the way, now that we got into short. But wouldn't you just be ready? For instance, if this thrusts down, right? If this thrusts down, you could get what we call a phantom trade. And I like a phantom trade personally because they haven't checked this swing right across here yet, like so. And they haven't checked this swing right across here yet. Everybody see that? But what do you think? Don't you think that more than likely, and by the way, we'll go ahead and put a tighter stop on this. We don't want it to really, this is still a long trend so far until they stay below mid-band. We've had a thrust down. But let's just pretend, for the sake of it, that you didn't have a trade on. Anybody? Against the trend, I'd scalp it. See, that came down to swing, phantom. And I'd just try to get a scalp. There's resistance right there at 14, 13, 40. Everybody see it? Thrust, retrace, thrust. We're looking for a short there if it doesn't just blow through it. Everybody see why? Will this take me out? Well, it might. We'll find out. This is a phantom trade. This is an 85% probability trade. And I'm going to put exit on close because I trust my phantom. I almost made a liar out of me. Everybody see where we want to short it if it rolls over? Anybody? Draw your lines on your charts. We have these lines drawn in the room continually so that you can see where these support and resistance areas are like this. Does this look like more than likely? Look at this red stealth. This is heading down, right? I think I just missed it. We'll let it go one more time. It didn't touch my line. They'll fake you a lot of times. A lot of times you need an A, a B, or pardon me, A, B, and a C. So I'm looking for this line right here. If they do go ahead and break this line right here, I think I would go ahead and be ready to short it because you could at least get down to here. But we look at this particular trade all the time. Is this going to be a trend change? We don't know yet. It's a phantom. It did bounce off support so far. We don't know if it's going to hit its head here yet. But we also do know that we'll box it in. Here's what we do. We'll look for a long trade if it takes out this box. We'll look for a short trade if it hits resistance and rolls. Everybody see that? Draw on your charts. So what I'm going to do, we'll just do 2 right there at the line. Okay. And we'll do 2 more on a box. Or how about stealth? Let's just do stealth. Let's do 4 on stealth. Everybody see why I shorted that? Came to resistance, rolled over. Would I put my stop above the swing? Absolutely, and I'd probably even reverse it. Because if this was a phantom that was going to go ahead and head up, it would take out this swing across here and this resistance across here. Everybody see that? What about lightning 1? See my green lightning? I could turn it on instead of stealth. If lightning goes red again, I'll add, well, that's going to add 4 contracts. Let's try it. So let's see, 1411 denotes a trend reversal down. There you go, you just got it. Now I'd put my stop nice and tight now. I'd put a target down here at the low. Since it's already checked this one, it should go lower than that if we're going to start heading down. So we're going to try to get some money right down here at that swing. And they'll usually take them out a little bit. And then draw your trend lines on your charts too. Okay? Everybody see that? Now, with all this teaching that I've done so far, what do y'all think? Can you pick out the next trade on the chart? Do you already see it? Anybody? Because I see it. And I know a lot of our Viper traders see it too. Anybody? Pretend you weren't even in a trade at all. What do you think, team? What if you weren't in a trade at all and you saw this happening before your eyes? You got a little resistance right up here. You got another one right here. So I draw 2 lines. Now we can't use PM anymore because it's red already. Can't use stealth because it's red already. Okay, so what are we going to use? Well, you could box it, right? Or you see another trade on the chart after that? Anybody? Because you should be able to see them now that I've taught you this. This is something that 20,000 hours of watching charts has really taught us. Okay, because I see even another trade if this breaks down. Now, we're not in it, you notice, because we closed out. So where's the next trade on the chart? All right, we're going to draw the lines on the chart. And then just do your little buzzy mosquito that used to be on the cartoons. Buzzy, buzz, 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 buzz. Remember when he used to uh, have the peephole and he was taking a shower and then he'd pop the guy in the eye? That was a pretty funny cartoon. Buzzy, buzz, 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 buzz. Come on, let's see if we can get something. What do you think? Buzzy, buzz, 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 buzzy, buzz, buzz, buzz. Got a little thrust down, right? Let's see if we get a pullback into that line that I just drew. Right at support. Okay, now, if you were looking for this trade right here, where could you put your stop on this trade? Okay, we've thrust down, we've missed the trade, so we're waiting on a retrace, right? So we're drawing on our charts. It's going to either come back here, but see, it's already checked there. See that little deal there? It's already checked there, so it's going to check here. Need to wait for an ABC, actually. I didn't do that. But I got my stop. I'll just put it right above this little swing right across here. And we got in 4. I'd probably have only done 2 on that instead, but it didn't take out our swing, right? It's checking it. Draw on your charts and you're going to be amazed. Power meter 1. What if I wanted a couple of more contracts? If power meter 1 goes red, I could get a couple of more contracts. If it goes above my stop, I'll get stopped out. No big deal. Why did I fire that early? Because it hit my line. I normally do that with 1 contract. I've got this going at about 10 times, so it's a little faster than it was in real time. But what I like on that personally is, I don't think that fired that. Oh, it went off. That's why. Well, we'll wait for, what do you think, anyone? Where's the next trade on the chart? Anybody, anybody, anybody? Okay, let's slow this down for a minute because I want everybody to be able to catch this. All right, let's diagnose this chart in real time. Let's just pretend we're not in anything. Again, diagnose your chart. Dum, dum, dum. Okay, there's your swing, right? Draw on your chart. Dum, dum, dum. They've already checked this right across here, right? So we'll draw a line right across there. They haven't checked it. I went a little higher here, so they haven't checked here. And let's see if we can get another trade. Draw on your charts. And keep in mind that we do a lot of the drawing for you. Look at predictor right there where my line is. A. Hadn't done B yet, has it? It's doing B now. See if we get an ABC. If not, we'll have to wait for it to do the next one. Okay, there's your A, there's your B. Still hadn't retraced yet. That one we missed. That one we missed. The reason we missed it is because it came within 3 ticks of predictor and didn't give us that trade. And that's okay. So, you want to see if we can figure out where it's going to hit its head? All right, let's draw on our chart. What do you think? See if we can get something. Now keep in mind, when they are stair-stepping down, you are simply looking for lower highs and lower lows, right? That's a little resistance area right there. There's your A. There's your B. And I'm going to try to get short If it kisses resistance and rolls over, it's kissing resistance. We don't want it to take this out, right? We want a lower high. And there it is. See when I turn that on? Could I add some with bar close? How about with power meter? I'm going to put my stop just above the swing. Exit on close. Get my target out of the way. Get my target down to the bottom. And write a trade. Now with what I've shown, does everybody see for absolute sure how to draw on your charts? Now will you be able to draw like a master drawer, an artist right off the bat? No, but I'll tell you what, with our room and the way we draw on these charts in real time and everything, you'll pick it up pretty quick because it does work. You know, now what if I was trying to trade a 5-minute chart? Could I have done even anything close to this? And everybody that's in here knows that was in our room this morning. We nailed this trade all the way down here. We even had some people get in this trade here. Where would you have gotten in this trade? Anyone? How about that predictor? And how about just boxing it in at predictor? Did that get you a good trade? Absolutely. What do you think about right where it's at? Well, it's actually bounced off of, where did it bounce off of? It bounced off that swing. So would you have already been in this trade? And the answer is what? Yes. So you're late now, but if you do this trade, let's say that you chase it, you'd have to put your stop underneath there. Everybody see that? You'd have to. Because anytime you chase a trade and you didn't take it where you drew your line, that's getting in late. Okay? Now notice my predictor actually, I mean, it nailed the line, right? That's where you know where to get in. Now keep in mind that once you get, this is what you got to look for too. You've had a thrust, retrace, thrust, retrace, thrust. So you basically had a pretty good move, right, so far, but every time it's ratcheting up. So I wouldn't be afraid of that trade at all right there at mid-band. Now, would you just go nuts and go, you know what, I think I'll just take 10 contracts? No, because 10 ticks would be $1,000 bill. You don't want to do that. Okay? Let's see, I'd like doing most of, let's see, off the predict. I do too, absolutely, they're great. Any results from Friday seal predictor triggering? Walter, I checked that and I couldn't get it to do it, but I'm going to try it on, you know, a different market replay that I've got also. But when I did it today, it fired like it was supposed to. So I don't know if that was like a glitch or something like that. I'm not sure. Any update on Time Trader? Pat is asking. Not just at the moment, but I'm sure it is coming along. All right, real quick. Anybody see another trade? Pretend you're not in anything. Now this may go up, and if it does, then it does. But anybody see where it hadn't checked yet? You want to see if it does it? Let's just see. I'll speed it up. I might not be able to catch it, but if I can catch it, I'll catch it. There we go. See it right there at support? Perfect little predictor trade. See that predictor right there? Now, I would put a tight stop on it, obviously. I wouldn't leave it at 20 ticks by any means. Okay? Let's see. It might be helpful for all of us who are not as sharp as you to draw the lightning on the charts so that you can see. Absolutely, Ron, on your question. Yeah, just draw your lightning on your charts and you'll see these. Matter of fact, let's just take a minute and do that, and then we're going to wrap. Let me get rid of the lines. We'll get rid of, we got rid of everything else. Let's just draw them. First of all, let's draw lightning 3. That's our control key. All right. See how that perfectly came down to swing across there? do you think that more than likely it'll come down to even this one unless it's through? Now, where would this change trends, by the way? Anybody? Right across there. So you want to see if possibly we could get a quick little short? Well, too late. I missed it. Just missed it. If you missed it, where would you look for it again? Anybody? Let's draw on our charts and see if it does it. I'm going to draw here. I'm going to draw here. And you tell me if this thing doesn't do what we want it to do. We'll see here. First off, we got to get a thrust. Let's see if we can get a thrust first. I got it going 500 times, so it's going to be pretty quick. There we go. We got a red background even. So we got our lines drawn on our chart. What do you think? Anybody? Got a predictor. There you go. It's right at resistance. What do you think? Pow. Everybody see that? You can see, and it helps a whole lot better, doesn't it? Now, we don't know if this is going to go all the way down, but we do know we got a support level here, right? Now, keep in mind that I was firing this because it's a little bit more aggressive way of trading, but you really want to wait for the bar to close, more than likely. Or just start with one if you trust your trading skills and you see a swing. That's a pretty good swing right there, isn't it? So is this going to head down a little bit? Well, we don't know yet, but it sure looks like it. You got a red background, you got a red midband, or a magenta midband. Let's see if it works, and then we'll wrap. There you go. Bingo to bingo. Got it. Now, did we draw those lines on that chart ahead of time? We did, didn't we? And where did it hit? It hit where you drew your lines. Okay? So use this tool more than anything in your life, okay? Make sure you draw on your charts. Now, those aren't in the right spots. They actually almost did. It's like I have a sixth sense about it because I didn't plan on putting it there. But anyway, it went there, okay? So everybody see where you're going to have your next trade? Let's see if one more will work. Somebody said, let's just try one more. See if you've got it down as much as you think you do. Okay. Got a swing there. They already checked it. Which swing did they not check? Right there. What do you think? You want to just see if it'll give us a trade there? I'll put it at 500 times and we'll see if we can get it. There it is. See it hit right where I thought it would? Bingo to bingo. Okay? Now, is everybody going to continue drawing on your charts where you need to draw on your charts? Because it is absolutely the most important thing you will learn in trading. I don't care about all the, the fib numbers and everything else as much as I care about drawing on my charts. Drawing on your charts will make the difference in whether you make money every single day trading. Okay? Hope everybody saw that tonight. I drew it as best as I could. I also showed you this little diagram where you can see exactly where to get in these trades. Where would you get in on this one? If you were doing a 12 range chart like this, lightning 3, actually that's 4 range with 15 strength, but wouldn't you take that little break? Sure. Or wouldn't you wait for it to actually do this and then do this and then box it? That's the way we teach. Okay? John says, thanks, Buzzy Buzz Buzz. You remember that one, John, from years ago? That mosquito? I forgot what. It was on like Bugs Bunny or something. When they had clean cartoons where they weren't trying to get their agenda across with the New World Order and all that stuff. Yeah, I do too. And they were good old days. It was kind of funny. I just thought of that when I was, just kind of being funny. I like to be funny in my webinars too, and even in the trading room. It makes everything more enjoyable. Thanks everybody for coming to the webinar tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Learn to trade like this. Use our indicators. use our tools, and just get to the point where you make money. And you heard these absolutely called in the room this morning. We called on CL, RTY, Gold, YM, and NQ, and nailed those trades today. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in the morning. Good night. This will be posted this evening, David. I'll make sure it's posted for all the members right away. And I'll try to get it on the regular webinar part for trial people by in the morning. All right. All right. Buzzy Buzz says good night. Bye, everyone.